Hello, my name's Bev, and 3 years ago I took up playing the recorder again after a 50-year gap. Hello everyone, and a very happy new year to you. And just a couple of things. Firstly, if you remember, I had a terrible trouble returning the recorder that wasn't suitable back to the seller in France, and just because of Brexit and all the paperwork and the time and the costs and all that stuff involved. So that's in another video. But I have finally got a letter from the Border Force saying that they are finally refunding my import duty, customs duty and VAT because I returned the item. So at long last, the matter is closed. I've got all my money back. And I can't claim back the handling fee from Parcel Force because that's just one of those things you have to forget about, really. So anyway, that's one thing in the new year. And back to what I was talking about in my last video, which is about learning the recorder at school back in the 1960s, and about the amazing recorder teacher we had called Mr. Allen, who was responsible for setting me on the course where I am today. And I just feel so very grateful to him for being such a wonderful person and encouraging us so much, and encouraging those who showed some sort of musical ability, shall we say, to try out different sizes of recorders. As I said in my last video, I went from the descant, or it's often known as a soprano these days, to the tenor recorder, and then I went to the treble recorder, or alto recorder as it's often called these days. And I stayed there really playing the alto recorder forever, basically. Although, as you know from the beginning of this video, I had a 50-year gap of not really playing the recorder at all until the pandemic struck. And that was really when, looking for something to do, I decided to take up the recorder again. These, of course, are not the original school recorders. These are both Mollenhauer Grenadilla recorders. Yeah, going back to talking about Mr. Allen, the amazing Mr. Allen, we've got a Facebook group for our secondary school, our high school, and obviously a number of pupils at that school also went to my primary school, which was Gledhow Primary School in Leeds. And we've all just been remembering Mr. Allen. Those who were musical have actually produced a couple of photos. I showed one in my last video of our school orchestra with Mr. Allen conducting it. And someone else has found one of the recorder group. But unfortunately, I'm not in either photo because these were pupils who are in a couple of years above me. So I was probably still, I don't know, learning to knit or whatever we girls were taught at primary school back then. But it's really good to have the old photographs back. But primarily, I really wanted to thank Mr. Allen, if he was still alive, for inspiring me and just being such an amazing teacher and remembered by so many former pupils from the 1960s. So I thought one night, I'll send an email to the school to see if they've got any records of Mr. Allen or any old photographs or anything like that. And I told them my reason for doing so was that he was a wonderful teacher, and I just wanted to thank him for everything he'd done. And it's so very sad because I received a really abrupt reply, an email back from the school. And it says, "Thank you for your inquiry. Sorry, we don't have any records from that time, and we do not know about Mr. Allen. Yours, School Office Reception." Not even a name. Oh, how sad that is to have for the school to have such a rich heritage and history, and so many people who were at that school back in the 1960s. I think it was built in the 1950s, so it was a fairly new school at the time. But to have such amazing experiences, and for the school to have it appears to have wiped the slate clean of it all, which is such a shame. It's just that it's so lovely to remember former staff who made such a difference to people, but to have what appears to be no archive, no memories, no photos, nothing about that period just seems so very sad, when it appears that a school like my primary school from the 1960s seems to have just wiped the slate clean, and to have just torched any memories of what took place there. That school just don't seem to be interested in its former pupils or its former staff. But anyway, that's just my rant. And talking about our old school recorder group at Gledhow, I dug out the air from Handel's Water Music, which we used to play in school assembly. And I thought I'd just sort of quickly play it on the descant. Just a very, very simple piece, and playing it on my recorder isn't really warmed up, so it was a bit out of tune in places. But anyway, oops, I mustn't hit the microphone. A happy new year to you all, and thank you for listening to my rant.